Hello, everyone. My name is Professor Luis Victorino Moya. I will be your astronomy instructor this fall 2025. This is an introductory video that should help you navigate to introduce the course that you are going to be taking online this fall. Now, this is an introductory astronomy class, and the scope is to go over basic concepts in astronomy. We're going to introduce the basic definition, parameters, and then we're going to be heading towards some of the basics, such as the physical quantities, the physics behind some of the aspects on astronomy. We will be discussing the solar system, the sun, and eventually we will be moving towards stars, galaxies, classification of stars, classification of galaxies, the expansion of the universe, dark matter, and cosmology. Of course, we will be talking about black holes, supernovas, neutron stars, and etc. Now, uh, all of those topics in an astronomy course in undergrad and college will require quite a few computations, data analysis. It will require some math, or at least a good level of math. But that's not the idea of this course. The idea of this course is that you understand the topics, and you're going to notice that the exams are going to be mostly qualitative, fact-based. Meaning, in some questions you may have to explain, but most of them are going to be multiple choice, okay? And they will be based on the lecture. I'm going to show you the Blackboard shell in a little bit, but basically in there, you're going to find slides, you are going to find suggested reading from the textbook, but also video lectures. Now, these video lectures are divided into the topics that we're going to be covering, and some of them are longer than the others. And the reason is simple. Some of those were edited for the online course. I've been doing that in the last couple of weeks, but some of those are previous video lecture recordings. So they could be an hour and a half. So my suggestion is that you skim through those as you go over the slides and the textbook. And look, you can also use free time, maybe while you are driving or at the gym or at home, right? And you can listen to a portion of it or a good amount of it, like a podcast, because I go over different concepts, and I think many of you may find it very informative and actually enjoyable. It's true that in some video lectures, I even go over some of the labs. Now, sometimes some of those labs are not going to be included in this course because I try to compress. There are about 6 to 7 labs that you guys are going to be doing, okay? And I have posted in the Blackboard shell the tutorials for those labs, okay? So let's share the screen. And here is the astronomy shell in Blackboard. You will find this video recording in here. You have here a kind of a summary of what I'm talking about right now. Some of the course learning objectives, the expectations. The main one is that you guys check Blackboard often, okay? It's an online course. We don't have lecture meetings. Now, that doesn't mean that we cannot have online office hours. I'm available normally on the weekends, so I will most likely be opening Zoom meetings to kind of, go over certain things, clarify certain concepts, or just to meet you guys, okay? Now, discussions. That's important because that's part of the grade in this course. Let's actually show you the syllabus. This is student view. So you can see what you will see on your end. Right, so the welcome page, if you go to the course content syllabus, you can find the doc and PDF file. I guess the main thing that you want to know is this, which is the grading policy. 20% for online discussions. They will be posted in certain modules and they have due dates. Now, I want to show you what you are expected to do. Okay. But before, look at this. You have assignments and labs 30%, and then your exams 50%. Okay. I do drop the lowest lab and the lowest exam. Okay. The tentative schedule is here. You can see, for example, in the first week, you have your first discussion board submissions, which is just a self-introduction. Okay. Then you will have a lab, but that's due in September. Okay. And then, yeah, you can see here week by week, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. All right. Take a look at the due dates for exams. I will try to make the exam available in a window of time so you guys can take it by that window. Okay. I won't be giving extensions unless there is an emergency that could happen, which is, for example, the reason why the way you're going to take the exams is 2 hours. It's going to be time. But you guys, if there's an emergency, you have to leave and come back, you can do that. Okay? So let's do it like that. I want to trust that you guys are honest while you're taking these exams. And then you also have some lab submissions in some of the weeks. So keep in mind the due dates. That's why you have to check Blackboard, all right? But basically here's the schedule, right? The syllabus, and then you cannot see discussions yet, and that's because they are not available yet. Okay, they will be available when the course starts. What you can see though is the learning modules. So module 1 starts with the introduction to astronomy, and the chapters that we cover from the book is chapters 1 and chapter 2. Okay, so basically you click here, you have the objectives, you have the ungraded activities, which is suggested reading, suggested questions that you should go over. And then you have the introduction to astronomy, you have the video lecture in there. Now this one is a summary. Okay, guys, I want you to take into consideration that there are many textbooks in astronomy, and some textbooks have good information in their slides, some a little bit different. So my suggestion is that you just focus on what you have in here and the information that is going to be provided. Okay, so for example, in here, I will just go here and then I go into the video lecture, which is here. In some cases, you're going to see me going in the whiteboard. In some cases, you're going to see me sharing the slides. 16 minutes is not bad. Okay, so there you have it. There's a good example there of what you would be expected. And then chapter 2 has also its own video lecture. It's a bit longer, but there you have. That's myself going through chapter 2, topics of chapter 2. Where can you find the assignments? There's nothing in assessment. Here's where you're going to find the quiz, the exams. If you want to learning modules, module 1, you can find the assignments. Let's take a look. Okay, so in each module, you want to see the assignments in there. Okay, so for example, this the second lab that you're going to do, constellations. You have the video tutorial here, the due date, and the lab. So you will submit it, and then you have the due date again here. Guys, the video tutorials for the labs, this is the one for lab 1 and lab 2. All right. And then you have, do you want to leave? Yes. Sometimes you have 2 assignments. This one should be in another module. So you're going to see that differently in your end. It should be here. Discussion board number 1 there. So you're going to find discussion boards like this. So you click to launch it. And it says it's unavailable because it's still August 15. All right. So I'm just going over how you're going to be exploring Blackboard. Okay. Again, some of the things won't be available because the course hasn't started yet. Very much. The same here, but nothing is available here yet because the course hasn't started. So let's show you my end. So for example, if we go to module 4, video lectures, and then the assignment. Again, so this is not available, right? That's the way, that's how this works in Blackboard. It's different than Canvas, but there you have it. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, please email me. I will try, or no, I will do an online session, non-mandatory meeting the first week of classes. So keep up, pay attention to the Blackboard for that. I will be sending the Zoom link in announcements. And try to use the discussions on the first day of class. If you have any questions, you can go to ask your instructor. Any questions in there? Okay. Other than that, if you have taken a course in college using Blackboard, it should be easy. If you have issues exploring Blackboard, do what I did, because I normally use Canvas, but it's different. But if you spend at least an hour or 2, you can easily find your way in Blackboard. Okay, submissions are similar to Canvas, and the way you go through the modules is similar, but you have to be careful where you click. All right, I'll be checking, and if there is something that you cannot see, let me know. Okay, I'm still going through my Blackboard shell to make sure that everything is going to be working on the first day of classes, but just make sure that if you find anything that is not working, you let me know as soon as possible. Have a nice rest of your day, guys, and have a nice fall 2025. Take care.